We have everybody's letter. Anybody who's not given their letter? Peter, we have everybody's? Okay, great. Okay, so Joyce has just reminded me to say something, and she'll add because she does it so beautifully. That day one, we focused on the organization. Remember when we were talking about organization, what organizations are you, how are you delivering to your community, and the focus was a lot on organization. Yesterday we talked about teams. We started off with norming, forming, storming, and at the end of the day we even said how will we deliver as teams to our stakeholders. Remember that? Today we started with, can you guess? Ourselves. So today the focus is on ourselves, even that letter to yourself, because without you there's no team. Without team there's no organization. So today the focus is on individual. How are you? And how will you grow so that you can grow within your team? What's your contribution to the team? What's your contribution to yourself, to your team? I'd like Joyce to add because she's... Oh, have I just said it?
I think she just said it, but I wanted also to connect it. We started with you, with Anagram, for 3 whole months, and we are back there. So I just want you to really connect the dots about your importance, about your role. There is no this program without you, but you is not enough. And so I want us to really just, today is short, but I had started yesterday afternoon, because we don't have a full day today, so that you can really see yourself in full view. Then I'll say one more thing that I was going to say before I send you to the groups. The thing that you did with Dominica this morning. You are flying, so some of you was not watching the board, because it is very hard to fly and also be watching things. This is one of the most powerful things about we are okay alone and we can fly. And in the middle of this journey, sometimes you move away and you are kind of flying your own thing. But those birds have to remember to go back to the flock, otherwise they get lost. Individual, uniqueness, and we celebrate team, and sometimes you may feel like it's not gluing. But the power is on up there. When these things, when I watched this thing, I was so moved by it. And it just reminded me, I am great alone, but I am greater and more powerful. So I'll leave it there. Maybe if we have a minute, we can play it again, so that you just watch and let it sink in you. And if there's anything, we have tried so hard to do, is to really capture the unique role that only you can play. So today is YOU, complete. Okay? But incomplete without the other piece. Thank you.
Okay, let's jump to you now. I'll invite Jules and Sarah to take us through. And as Jules is coming, so we have a short day. So right now we'll do individual learning and development. Then Joyce will take us to our buddies group based on that phenomenal assignment. If I was you, I'd ask her for that presentation. It's just an amazing toolkit. I use it a lot for something similar for coaching. A sneak preview of the people you're with. So she'll give us the learning buddies, then we'll discuss the program structure, and we'll end by 1. We have to take a group photo. So ladies, remember, we have a group photo at 1. Peter will want us to do an evaluation. Don't forget, that's his baby, so make sure that you kindly respond to the evaluation. We'll do that, and then we close at 1 for lunch.
Right, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well this morning. Good to see you on this last morning of the coaching, or not the coaching, but the leadership, Collective Rising Leadership Institute program. So as Joyce or Christine have said, that Monday was organization, yesterday was teams, and today is more around individual. And so we've been talking, thank you. We've been talking a lot about self-awareness. Self-awareness is essential for growth. And, it's essential both in your leadership roles as well as individually for your individual growth and your leadership growth. And so this morning we wanted to go into more detail about the process we use as coaches to enhance your self-awareness. So obviously you're going to be working in your teams in your self-awareness, but you've had some self-awareness development on the Enneagram program as well, and why it's important for both yourself and professional growth. So I'd like to just, I thought this quote by Deepak Chopra was quite appropriate. You cannot change what you are not aware of, and once you are aware, you cannot help but change. So one can go through life not realizing that you're doing certain things that are not helping you, but once you become aware of that and how it's not serving you, you cannot help but change. So what are the approaches to change? So change occurs from insights within you, learnings, things that you've gone about your day and you've noticed things about yourself and how you've approached things. So insights within you. Developmental stages, we all go through developmental stages. And interesting, the team layers of storming, norming, performing, it's the same with adults. We can expand in our self-awareness and growth, but sometimes we can contract, and that's normal. So we go through developmental stages, and that's how you understand yourself, others, and the world, to see things in a more deeper, more flexible, and wiser way. Change occurs from doing new things, new muscles, as we spoke about in your sessions yesterday, about developing new muscles, and we've been speaking about it a lot over the last 2.5 days, or two days. And then change occurs with a conversation with another, a thinking partner, like your coach, to create new insights and realities. So with the coaching that we do, we use the self-awareness that you bring about through your coaching enables the clients, teams, individuals to become aware of their current approach to situations. And that's where you would have learned yesterday in your offer around the current way of being. So your current way of approach to situations, to see new possibilities, and then to build sustainable new skills to achieve outcomes that deeply matter to you and your teams. So this is really the basic summary process of what we do in the coaching program with you. And I just want to say that the program is based, all the coaches have gone through a specific program methodology, coaching program methodology, and it's different from other coaching programs. Other coaching programs often focus on short-term goals, sort of weekly goals, monthly goals. The coaching that we do is a lot about developing the whole person. So it's developing skills, muscles, and it's developing the more complexity of the person. So it's a deeper level way of coaching, not just a surface level. So what does it take to change? So this is what you learned yesterday and some of the terminology. It's how do we change? We only change through an awareness, through self-awareness, and it's awareness of your current way of being. So you're able to absorb, not absorb, observe your own thoughts, your emotions, your motivations, your behaviors. And often what happens is that we live unconsciously. So what I mean by that is we do things in the same way. We don't think about it. It's unconscious. It sits here as a subject, right? We just go through our life doing the same things, same behaviors, same emotional responses, same defensiveness, same motivations, and we don't realize we're doing certain things, but suddenly we think, okay, this is not serving us anymore, this is not healthy for me anymore, this particular behavior or this particular current way that I'm in is not helping me anymore, it's not serving me. And this is where the awareness of the current way of approach becomes really visible to you. So that subject, we call it the subject, that way of being of current, that is unconscious, because you've been doing it automatically. That is your subject. And through your awareness of your current way of being that you spoke about in your offer yesterday, or your coaches spoke about in your offer yesterday, that subject then becomes object. And what I mean by that is that through self-awareness and what you're doing in your current way of being, and the impact that it's having on you and the cost that it's having on you, becomes suddenly the object. It's a way of you observing yourself, you looking at yourself as an object. So there's a shift from the subject to the object. So what has been unconscious in the client's way of approaching their topic needs to become conscious and accessible. And accessible, I mean, okay, I didn't realize that. All right, I can see how that's impacted my team member. I can see how this has impacted me personally. And you can then start questioning it and observing it. So the current way, as I mentioned, goes from subject, I am who I have always been, to object, a me that I can look at. So your coaches would have spoken in the offer yesterday about a new way of being. And through that going from subject-object, a way of looking at yourself, you then become aware of a new way of being through the coaching. And clients then have access through a new way, and the coach spoke to you about a metaphor of a new way and where you would like to get to. So you have your current way of being, how you're approaching your topic, and where you would like to get to, your new way of being. And what we like to do in the coaching program, and a very important part of it, is that we want to honor the current way of being. Because that's how you got to where you are today. We don't want to dismiss it. We want to take the healthy aspects of this current way of being and make it stronger. So we don't want to throw away the old. We want to take what's there, the current way of being, include it, the healthy aspects of it, and transcend into a new way. So this gives you or your team a new vision, a new future way that opens up new possibilities towards your topic. The new way shifts from, so this is the other important part, is that we've gone from current way, subject, shifting to object, subject, object, and realizing, looking at it and saying, okay, I'm going to make a new choice now. I'm going to move forward into my new way of being. And then that new way of being then goes from object back to subject. And that's what we mean by embodiment. You embody eventually, through the coaching program, you embody the new way of being. So object then becomes subject. So I wanted to give you an example. Before I do, are there any questions so far? Or any comments? Okay. So I wanted to give you an example here. So we have a leader who has been moved into he's been moved into position in a very, very fast-paced organization where he or she suddenly has to lead with a lot of uncertainty. And the topic is a leader who needs clarity. So this particular leader needs clarity before taking decisions and before taking action. So the leader before the shift, so in other words, the subject, so now we're talking current way of being, the leader's beliefs. What is the leader believing, the current way of approaching the topic? I need clarity and control to lead effectively. I hesitate to act without complete information. I delay decisions in complex or fast-changing situations. I feel responsible for having all the answers. My team becomes dependent and loses confidence. So that is the current way of being, of approaching the topic. But there's always a cost. So through reflections, coaching, and lived experience, the leader starts to notice. So this is now when the current way of being, through the coaching program, the subject then becomes the object, starts noticing. What is the cost of needing this certainty? The costs are decisions are delayed, the team loses confidence due to lack of direction, and the leader becomes exhausted, trying to control the uncontrollable. So that is the cost, and it's quite important to understand when you look at your current way of being, to always think about the impact. So what is the impact and the cost? And not only to myself, but to my team. And with guidance, through coaching, reflection, trying new things, building those new muscles, as you spoke about in your offer program, offer session yesterday, they begin to ask, what if certainty isn't possible? And that's okay. Can I make decisions without needing to be 100% correct? So through the self-awareness and the subject-object, you can look at yourself and say, okay, that's not serving me anymore. It's not helping me. It's not helping me lead, or in your own personal life. There might be something you'd be struggling with and you're realizing it's not helping you develop as a person. I can see this is not helping me. I need to go to a new way. I need to grow into a new way. So now the need for certainty becomes that object, right? Something they can observe, understand, and this is most important, to choose to respond rather than being run by it. So often our current way of being, we often get run by it because we automatically do it. It's just automatic. We're not aware of it. We just automatically do it. So through the coaching and the reflections and this building of the self-awareness, you have the ability to observe and understand what you're doing in the moment. It's often in the moment, and you will see in our coaching, when we do our coaching sessions, we're going to be asking you a lot of questions of what did you do in that moment? Because it's only with understanding what you do in the moment, you're realizing the cost as well and what the impact is on you and perhaps your team. So the most important thing is that we give you that ability. We help you, not give you, because you come up with the answers. We help you with the ability to say, I see this, but I'm going to respond differently, rather than being run by it. So the leader, once the leader goes from subject, current way of being, to observing, object, now after the shift, the leader is leading with adaptability and presence. Now the belief is, I can accept uncertainty as part of leadership. I now can make timely decisions with partial or limited information now. I encourage team input and shared ownership. I model calm and curiosity And I think it's better, actually, to just adjust as you go along. I can't have 100% everything correct. I can just as go along, and I don't have to be perfect. So through the coaching program and through developing the muscles, all these new way of being, the reflections start coming out. So just to confirm this subject-object shift, as this example, the leader believes that being sure of things and having certainty means being capable. So that was the current way of being. I have to have everything right. I have to have absolutely 100% clarity before I make decisions and move forward. That was the subject. The object, observing, looking at myself through a series of cycles of development, practices, reflections. When this belief is made visible, the leader can examine it, understand the cost, shift it, and make a new choice. And that was the new choice that I spoke about in the previous slide. And then also in the coaching program or in the offer yesterday, the coaches would have spoken about developing new muscles and developmental objectives. That's the same as developing new muscles. So those are new capabilities that you need in order to get to the new way. And these need to become embodied in the client or the team, mind, heart, and body. So we don't just have one intelligence in our mind. We have a heart intelligence, in other words, our emotional intelligence, and we have a lot of body intelligence. And our bodies are important tools for growth too, because how often do we sit up here with our thoughts racing? We're going to help you through the coaching program, bring you back into your bodies, like we were doing in some of the morning sessions and some of the breathing. That's a process of bringing you back into your body, because when your body's calm, that helps you make better choices and better decisions too. So the client becomes aware of their current way. Just to summarize again, the client becomes aware of the current way arising, but not to follow it, but to make a choice. It's always about the choice. Client builds new muscles needed to inhabit their new way of being. And that's going to be over a series of sessions where we're going to be developing new muscles for you over that period of coaching period, or helping you. You're actually going to come up with them, because we're going to co-create those with you, those practices to get the new muscles. So the method that we use is called integral coaching. And the reason why it's integral is because we develop the whole person. And to summarize, we have your current way of being, and yesterday your coaches would have given you a metaphor for that current way of being. And a metaphor is just a symbol of how you're approaching your topic in the current way. Then, over the period of your 6 sessions, 6 or 7, or they're actually 9 in total, over that period, the coaches will be helping you, co-creating practices to develop new muscles that integrate and include the healthy aspects of your current way of being. We want to now, and we really need to stress this, we want to honor your current way of being. It's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful way, but we want to take the healthy aspects of that, and we want to transcend from that current way into a new way. And then the coaches yesterday would have spoken to you about a new way of being metaphor. So that's really the process. I just wanted to go through that with you so that you had a better understanding of the process of the integral coaching method. And before we go on to the next slide, and because part of this session we're doing today is Sarah is going to be talking to you about reflections So part of the program, and when we do give you your practices, we're going to be giving you self-reflection or reflection questions. And we really encourage you to reflect and to journal as well. So Sarah will talk to you about that now, but before I do that, or pass over to Sarah, does anything come up for you, like from yesterday or now, what I'm talking about, anything that needs to be clarified, any insights, any comments? And if any of the other coaches want to add to what I've said as well. Okay. Oh, Rachel. There you go.
So I think for me, it's all coming together. I am now seeing very clearly the connection between me and being part of an organization, and also the part of the metaphor. Now I understand when, Joyce talked about, she said the metaphor, and I was still like trying to unpackage it, but now I understand it is how we are now, and then where we want to be, within the period of the 6 month. Then I think for me also the awareness, I really appreciate that, in the sense of those steps of, that recognition of, where my thoughts, what are my thoughts, what are my feelings, and then the new, especially for me now, it just also takes me back to, like listening and what I've thought, I thought I was a really good listener, but there are things I'm seeing there and I'm like, there, there's area for growth. Yeah, so this is really good. Thank you.
Yeah, so you spoke about, Rachel, your observing your thoughts or noticing your thoughts, and that's because of the self-awareness that gets developed, and we suddenly notice, okay, why am I doing this? Didn't realize that I was doing it before, but now I see the impact. So it's that process, that self-awareness of noticing what you're doing in the moment. Thank you. Great. Joyce would like to. Oh, do you know? Okay. All right. All right. So we've got another 30 minutes left. So we do want to do an exercise with you. If no one else would like to say anything, I'm going to pass over to Sarah.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks very much for sharing that. I think, as Rachel said, that gives us a lot more clarity on the current way to new way and how we as individuals can change. So before I start, I think we need to changamka, sindio? Someone from Amani, uje kunisaidia? Someone from Amani? You're the ones who are supposed to be doing the... Oh, hi, Mary. Shall I give you this?
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I have given this nice chance so you can wake up so that you can do something which is so special. The growing leaders has transformed for these 3 days. Yeah. You know how to dance, everyone. We are in East Africa. We have traditional ngoma, we have traditional songs. So I need to show you the exhibition right now so that you can follow me. Do you know that? Are you seeing me properly? Are you sure? Okay. So, in Mwanza, we have surrounded with mountains. Whenever you go, you found mountains with a lot of stones. So we have to jump so that you can move from one stage to another, one step to another, okay? So I don't know how fit are you, but now we are going to test if you be in Mwanza, Tanzania, so you'll be flexible, okay? So I'm trying to do like this. As I said, we have a lot of mountains and a lot of stones. So raise up your hand first. Another, the left hand side, the right hand side, the left hand side. This is the direction. We will be moving to the left hand side, to the right hand side, like this. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. Jumping our way into the next things. Thank you. So we're going to get into a practice that you're going to do. I'll give a little introduction on the way. Which one do I press? Any? So this is going to build on what Jules has shared about self-awareness. These are just some of the things that you gain from being more self-aware. And I think it's quite obvious to you. You understand yourself better when you have more awareness. It helps you get more in touch with your emotions and how they're useful for you or how they might trip you up. It can help you build better relationships with your people that you work with. And it's a way of helping you grow as a person. So we often say as well that self-awareness is not like a one-time thing. You suddenly like, oh, I'm more aware of how I behave when I speak to my husband, for instance. But it's more of an ongoing thing. And we want to help you develop one or two disciplines that might help you to keep the self-awareness growing. So when you're in coaching, self-observation exercises, I think you've all been given self-observation exercises through your team coaching. Those really help you to see how you are and build your self-awareness. Jules also talked about practices. You'll learn about that more as the coaching goes on. Today we're going to look at journaling, reflective journaling. And some of you might already do reflective journaling, but we're going to do a bit of that now. And then of course the coaching conversations that you have allow you to learn more about yourself, so to get greater self-awareness. So, reflection, and actually some of the groups I was coaching, reflection was a big thing about how do we reflect on our programs and what we're providing for the communities we work with, how we're working with them. How often do you get time to really properly reflect, one, about your programs and also about your teams, but also for you yourself? So reflecting on your own thoughts, feelings. Even when you were writing the letters, when a lot of people, when they'd finished, were straight onto their phones or having conversations. So how comfortable are we being with ourselves, just being with you? And that's one self-awareness that is useful, noticing when you run away from yourself. And you do that when you're on your phone or when you're with other people, which is fine, that gives us energy, but really noticing, can you sit with yourself and feel comfortable with yourself? So that's how reflection can be used for you as well. So as I said, we're going to focus on journaling, and there are lots of different ways to journal. And let's start with, we have this, everyone has this notebook, yeah, this journal, and there's a quote on the front of it. I'd love somebody to read that for us. Who would like to read it for us? Yes, Lenny? Can you, you'll get a microphone.
Journaling, I believe, is a practice that teaches us better than any other elusive art of solitude how to be present with our own selves, bear witness to our experience, and fully inhabit our inner lives.
Yeah, thanks for that, Lenny. What, does anyone want to comment on that? What do they think or feel when they read that? Just one or two people. You know, no rights or wrongs, just what do you think when you hear that, what Lenny just shared? What bits impact on you? Anyone? What about you, Lenny, as you were reading it?
I think it says that when you write your thoughts down, it's better than when you just think them and let them go.
Yeah. Yeah, and why do you think that is? If we write it down, why does it help? How does it help us if we write it? Yeah, Martha.
When we write our thoughts down, it helps to do a deeper reflection because you're writing what you're thinking, but also it helps to put a plan in place on what you're thinking as well as execute it, and it reflects again as a cycle of learning.
Spoken as a true Enneagram 3, let me get the plan in place through my reflections. Yeah, so, yeah.
What I'm getting from these few sentences here, it's as if there is another me inside me, you know. And now I'm asking myself, do I give time to listen to this other Kalenga and have that honest conversation with him? That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think that's so true. We think we know ourselves, but do we really? Like you're saying, there's another one inside you that's hiding. And imagine what that's got to offer you. There's a lot we don't know about ourselves. Yeah, can we get a mic over there? Victoria.
It can also make us be present as we journal, because you're able to vision or see what you're writing.
Yeah, and be present for yourself in the moment that you're doing the journaling, but that also helps you be present for other people when you then go out there, because you've given yourself time to be with you. Yep, let's hear from you.
A lot of times I have revisited the notes that I have written, has made me to be accountable also to myself. And I only don't write notes about myself. I have children and I keep a journal for each of them. So all the experiences that they go through, every time I see something that is special about them, I make sure I put it down so I don't forget, and so that tomorrow when they grow up, I can hand it over to them and say, this is how we grew up.
Wow, that's so beautiful, so beautiful. My mum also has a journal that she's kept forever. So she told me the other day, oh, I was reading about, January the 15th, 1984, and this is what happened. I was like, wow. So it's a beautiful thing for you to gift your children those journals. There was somebody here, yeah.
Yeah, during journaling, it's a moment to be authentic and also a moment to be vulnerable, because you're going to be true to yourself. And also, you can be able to, when you are reflecting, you're able to get some of the answers that you've been looking for deep within yourself. And also being able to know, this is the right thing to do, and be able to make a decision out of that.
Yeah, great. So it helps you to trust yourself as well, that often the answers are in here. And that's where journaling can also be really useful when something difficult is happening with you. Yeah, Roberts.
In life, there are situations when you're with people, and when you're with people, you converse with them. But at one point, you'll be alone. So it's another way of you, when you're alone, in that instance, that you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what means that now when you're alone, then everything switches off. So this is now a way you try to converse within yourself. And that's maybe why they call it the elusive art of solitude.
Lovely. Yeah. So it's a conversation with yourself. So let's try a bit of journaling. I have here that there are different ways to journal, and there are, and often depending on your Enneagram type or how you are, you'll want to do it different ways. Some people love writing. Some people just don't. They prefer to speak. So Jules, if you don't mind me saying Jules, she uses voice notes. So she just records herself on her phone. That's her way of journaling. You can do it on your laptop. You can do it anywhere. And you don't need to keep what you've written. If it feels, difficult for you to go back to it, or you just decide the process of journaling was good enough, let me throw it away, throw it away. You don't need to share it with anyone. It's just for you, or you don't need to worry that somebody might find it. Just rip it up and throw it away, or delete it off your phone. So, yeah, these are some different ways. And then even if you're very artistic or you like drawing, painting, you can journal in that way, in a more creative, or develop a kind of visual plan. There's any way that you can do it, and do it in a way that works for you. So what I want us to do now is try a bit of journaling, and rather than just saying to you, just journal, I just wanted to give you a bit of structure. So we have 3 questions here, and I want you to choose one, and you're going to journal on one of them for maybe we'll just do 5 minutes. Okay, so the first one is, you'll obviously have to fill in the gaps. So what makes it so difficult for me to work with person X? So I could say, what makes it so difficult for me to work with Christine? Which is totally untrue. But if it were, so what makes it, if that's something that resonates with you now, why not write on that? Or, why do I struggle with? So it could be, why do I struggle with time management? Or, why do I struggle with meeting all my deadlines? Or, why do I struggle with confidence in talking to donors? It can be anything that you think you struggle with in your work or in your life. So again, choose something and fill in the gap. Or you could answer the third one, what makes me happy? And what do I want more of in my life? So I'm going to give you, is that clear? So give you Yeah, 5 minutes. It's not very long because we just want you to try it, then we'll have a bit of a discussion and then move into the next. But it's really just to give you another tool that you can use as a leader for becoming more self-aware. So, do you have your question? And do you want to write it in? If you write it in your notepad and you want to dispose of it afterwards, delete it, please just rip it up and put it in the bin at the back. If you're happy for it to stay in your notepad, keep it there. Okay, are we ready? Pens at the ready. You have 5 minutes just to journal on one of those questions.